My name is Modesitt. A lot of my friends and family call me Lou, hence the Lou Strong, and a lot of my family call me Annie. I am 37 years old and I'm from Marietta, Ohio. I was diagnosed at 37 in December of 2018. My back started hurting, excruciating pain to where I couldn't take it. We finally ended up in the emergency room, and I remember the doctor coming in and kneeling down on the floor beside my bed and saying that they were going to give me pain medication now that I had had the testing, but also I had had multiple myeloma, which was cancer. There was no cure, but it was treatable. At that point in time, all I could think of was, please fix my back and I will deal with that later. I was in Riverside over Christmas for a little over a week that year, and I started my 4 21-day cycles to get to the point where I was able to do all the testing to hopefully do a transplant. And in April of 2019, I had my stem cell transplant. You have 100 days after transplant to get through before you sort of reach that milestone. And at that point in time, I was considered complete response. And 2 years later, here I am today. So after my 100 days, I started my maintenance chemo because myeloma doesn't have a cure. I'm on a chemotherapy pill every day, and I've been on that for a little over 2 years, and I will continue to do that for life or until there is a cure. When I was in the hospital in Columbus, they originally actually told me that I did not have myeloma. I didn't have any of the my blood work was fine. I didn't have any other symptoms of myeloma. Myeloma typically was found in African American men over 65, and here I was 37 year old woman, and with no other symptoms other than lesions on my back. My spine had collapsed on my L1, and I had several other lesions throughout my body. But eventually, they diagnosed me that after a bone marrow biopsy that I did have multiple myeloma, and I think the way that I dealt with it initially is I just had goals. I had to get through each cycle. I knew I had four, and each cycle was closer to the transplant testing, which was a 2-day marathon. And then after that, I had a stem cell harvest. And then after that, I had transplant. And after that, I had my 100 days. And I think during that time, I was super positive and just focused on getting to each milestone. And that's how I dealt with it. After that 100 days, though, I got really depressed and was on maintenance chemo for life. And it was the what now and the new normal. Like this was it. There was really no other milestones. It was just, this is how it's going to be. I'm going to have these side effects for life. I'm going to feel this tired and exhausted for life. And how do I deal with that? And it was a rough several weeks. I have very good support system. My husband is amazing. He always has been, but if anything, that this has just even brought us closer. He never left my side once in any of my hospital times, and he slept on very uncomfortable chairs during transplant. There wasn't really a bed, but he didn't leave once. And I have a very great family. That one really good best friend that is always there, and a huge array of other family and friends that are just always there for anything I need. And I'm very lucky to have that. My son, when I got diagnosed, was in his first year of college, and I had a lot of guilt from that because instead of enjoying his first year of college, he would come home every single weekend to take care of me, even through all my objections. You need to be enjoying your first year of college, and he just wouldn't have it. So, I'm lucky in that regard. And I think that you should just really hold on to those people in your life, and don't be as stubborn and try to get through it all yourself, and just let them in and help you. Right after I got back from the hospital, my brother had sent these bracelets, and they had Blue Strong on them. And then he designed these shirts as a benefit to help with medical bills. And he thought Leanne Strong was too long, and Annie Strong didn't sound right, and so he ended up with Lou Strong, and it just kind of stuck. And I think there's probably a few hundred people in this area that have them and wear them still to this day, which is, exciting to know that people are still always thinking about you and praying for you. So at the beginning, I started a Facebook blog, initially just to update loved ones, because I didn't have the energy to reach out to each one who was checking on me separately. But it ended up being very therapeutic for me, and it ended up being something to keep my mind occupied, because it ended up being in my Lou Strong journal. And I have everything from my myeloma journey. This is my first yearbook, to, when I was in the hospital, my test results, photos, all of that ended up being something to keep my mind occupied, especially during COVID, when we're immunocompromised and we're stuck in the house all the time. And I think it also allows me, even now, a couple years later, to go back and see how far I've came, and kind of relive that sometimes, just to sort of remember. So that's sort of the Blue Strong story. So I guess this circles back to, after my 100 days, and how, I ended up here. I sort of got to a point where I decided that I was just going to live every day the best that it could be, and accept the days that my body says not today. And I am still going to go to the beach every chance I get, even though it might take a little extra rest days that I never had before. I'm just going to take every opportunity to visit a new place or do something that I love, because at the end of the day, I have cancer, and I have a cancer that doesn't have a cure, but I am also a survivor, and I choose to take that title over just a cancer patient. I think the most important thing to remember is to stay positive and to look forward to each milestone towards your end goal. I think that we are very lucky to have really great doctors at Strecker, and to confide in them in anything that you're feeling or anything that you need, because they really truly care about you. Anything that they can do to help you, they will. I have met two very good friends here that have myeloma as well, and we have a great support system with each other. And I encourage everyone to be open to meeting new people who have the same cancer as you do, because they know exactly what you're going through, and they become a huge support system. I think little weird tips I've learned along the way is Pedialyte is by far your best friend sometimes, and plastic silverware does wonders for chemo mouth. And I think finally, just remember that you are far stronger than you ever thought you could be, and that have faith that you will get through this, and to never give up.